Upon request, yes, let's estimate Tesla's earnings for Q1 2021. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. As a reminder, my not being a financial planner status persists, and this is not investment advice. And even if it was, I have no idea if it would be advice to buy, sell, hold, do something else. I'm very long in my IRA with Tesla, so I'm in no rush to sell anything, and I don't have the stomach to trade in and out of positions. I will tell you, I'm also invested in Arcimoto, the ARC Technology Fund, ARC-K, and what's the other one? Oh, Triple Q, right? Yeah, Invesco. Okay, here we go. So, Tesla, last I saw, hadn't released their fact set. So I don't know what the breakdown is on Wall Street, and I don't know if I've seen category by category breakdowns before. So I'm using the Q4 as my template. Let's jump over to that. This is what the Q4 looked like. Yeah. So basically, I'm using this to determine my figures based on what we do know in terms of deliveries and other factors as well. So yeah, let's get into that. Deliveries, we know they were 184-ish, so I'm saying 185. I don't remember what they were, 184 something. I just rounded up to 185. That seems close enough for me. So this one's a little bit more exciting. I'm estimating 9.255 billion in sales. And I arrived at this number by, higher deliveries, sure, but we have to back out the S and X, which I've got down here, model S and X. And this is, they sold 14,077 fewer than in Q4. And what I said is, that's probably 20 grand a unit less in profit, optimistically. But in any case, that's 282 million missing. So if we look at this equation here, this times this minus 282. Yeah, I'm saying, use the same kind of figures, and yeah, cross multiply and divide. High school algebra. Automotive margin. I'm saying we're looking good. 20.5, a little less margin because sales in China are increasing. And China doesn't have the same kind of adoption rate on FSD, although there is some take on enhanced autopilot in Europe, which will help. But basically, I don't believe it can be as high as 20.7 without the S and X and without the FSD sales in China picking up quite a bit. Regulatory credits, yeah, I just went ahead and said, let's average all of these and say it's going to be the same. It's a black box. We have no idea. We have genuinely no idea. I'm saying stay the course. And why not? So, auto gross profit, what are we saying here? $2.2 billion. Yeah. Less than last quarter, despite increased sales. But I've already said, why? Now, this is a fun one. Energy sales. Look at this trajectory. 293 million, 370 million, 579, 752, still climbing. So what am I saying here? 825. That's not a very big increase. But the reason why is because I said this plus the modest increase from before minus 100 million. And that 100 million is Gambit Energy, the plant of their own that they built in Texas. That's capacity they could have sold to someone else. That's revenue they will recognize in the future, but for now, it is not on the books, which means energy profit is abysmal. I believe they're going to lose $85 million in this quarter on energy. And I did have a video about the energy prospects, which I think were pretty fantastic and exciting, if a bit wildly speculative. But, hey man, here we are. So, let's actually go to R&D. I believe it's going up. 324, 279, 366, 522. I believe it's going up. I said by 10% because we've got the money going into the SNX refresh. We've got the engineering going into the Cybertruck. We've got the potential R&D in China going into the Model 2, which I believe is at least in the design center already. Why wouldn't it be? So yeah, 574. And I don't believe it can go up by more than 10% because ramping by that much that quickly is kind of difficult and expensive. So total revenue, is that the one we're going to do next? Why don't we do... Sure, let's do total revenue. 10.7 billion. 10.7 billion. Just up a hair. Just up a hair. And my equation basically involved... what did it involve? Yeah, it involved the added revenue from energy sales and some adjustments otherwise. So let's get exciting here. Let's do cash on hand first. These are kind of silly numbers to even look at because these were both before the big cash raise, which added, as you can see, 5 billion and another 5 billion. But they're bringing in more than they're spending. But they are spending. Berlin is still costing money. Yeah, it's going to CapEx. Texas is running 3 shifts and going a gang of bustas. So I'm going to say only adding 300 million to the cash reserves. Cash on hand, looking good. So the gross profit is a tricky one. But what I did was I took... This is a weird one. Oh, you know what? I should show you this. This is something I forgot to show you. How did I arrive at these numbers here? At this number here. That's right. So what I did was I came up with these multipliers because this number doesn't jive with this number, even with this number in it. There's other numbers, and I could spend days digging into the math, or I could just kind of, you know, take a higher overview. So 78%, and then let's look at these. Similar, 74, 86, 86. I don't remember what I did here. 86. I just took the last 2 quarters, which gave me a multiplier of 1897. So anyway, and the multiplier, I just took this number times this number. Total sales, total margin. That gave me 80. That gave me, gave me that. And then I used this, and then that's how I ended up with the number. There you go. Almost forgot to tells ya. All right. So, only got a couple things left. Gross revenue. So what I did here, this is another one where I kind of had to back it out. I took total gross profit divided by total revenue, and that gave me 16%. And then I used the average of the automotive and the total margins and came up with 18%, and I did that across the board. Now, of course, I can't do that here because I don't have this number, so I had to do this guy as the average of the last 4 quarters, which I'm happy with, and then this guy, I had to did it that way, so it's the average of that one and the total, giving me this number right here. Total gross profit, 2.159. Now look at how much huger that is than last quarter. I don't know, man. I have low confidence in this number. I believe this will be closer to this number, but, you know, here we are. I don't know. Maybe before I upload this, I'll look at it some more, but it's because this number and this number don't match. That's the discrepancy right there. So that's kind of where I'm at. So, yeah, again, not a financial advisor. And if you want to know how confident I am in these figures, overall, I'd say I'm going to hit 50% of them better than Wall Street. That's kind of been my track record, at least on the financial statements, the earnings reports. On deliveries, I spank Wall Street. I spank the Twitter guys, the YouTube guys, the Wall Street guys. I just, I do really good on my deliveries. On my earnings, I get about half right. I do about better on about half of them than Wall Street. This time, though, boy, especially with that 2.1 billion figure, my confidence is not as high. But again, I'd say 50% is my confidence level. Now, what I'd like to know is how confident are the Wall Street guys in their numbers? Because if I am beating them on half their figures historically, my gosh, you guys, either you need to hire me or you need to fire those guys because, well, what the heck is going on? By the way, I'm a lot cheaper than them too. Speaking of which, you can subscribe if you want. That's still free. I still don't charge for that. And a quick thank you to my Patreons who get early access, bonus material, an ad-free experience, and help keep the channel running and growing for as little as $1 a month. So, welcome to Parmad Gandhi at the cool level, very cool. And yes, the Patreons really do help the channel grow. That is why I've been able to produce so many videos this month compared to my usual amount. And I don't know, man, I'm really pleased with how things are going. And I think you guys are pretty awesome. So, with that said, let's see what Monday brings and how I do. Dunno, man. Dunno. Little worried. All right. Well, you know what? Stay tuned. Stay juicy. And I can't wait to hear from you clever robots right now with your predictions, and Monday with a whole lot of, man, Brian, I told you so. But you can't tell me so unless you tell me so here now first. Can't do it after the fact. It don't work like that. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.